and welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie. Today is my weekly WIP and chat, and if you are not familiar what that is a work in progress or a WIP where I will be working on this diamond painting. I haven't gotten very far. There's not much really to see. I am just working on the bottom part of the diamond painting, which basically is just the start of the table. This is the Last Supper from Jaded Gem Shop. I am working on this for Summer with the Masters. I have participated every year since the event began, and so I knew I needed to participate, or I didn't really need to. I wanted to participate this year as well. I'll put the information for Katie's channel, Diamonds and Washi, if you're not familiar with Summer with the Masters. This one is a 40 by, I think it's a 100 centimeter diamond painting. And let's see, I'm going to pull this up and see if it says it. It may not say at the top. It doesn't say at the top. I think it's 40 by, actually it's a 40 by 180. This is a 40 by 180 centimeter. And I'm just working on this slowly. Just haven't really spent a lot of time on it, and I will work on it for the next 2 months during the Summer with the Masters event. I may not even get my Josephine wall out, so I'm not working on so many large diamond paintings at one time. I've seen this completed, and it's absolutely gorgeous. You can check out Crafty ishKristyn. I'll put her information below as well, so that way you can look back at her videos and see the completion. And we bought this, I bought this actually before she bought hers, and she finished hers before I even got started. I've had this kitted up now for a couple of years, and so decided that it's time to bring this out and at least get started on it. So that's what I plan on doing. I am using for my pen, this is from Crafted Makes. I don't even know if he is still in business. I've only purchased a couple of pens from him. This one I purchased 2 years ago for the Josephine Wall event. And I really do like the way that it's made. But again, I don't know if he's still in business. I'm also using my Add More Zest tray. I am using Joy's Putty for my single and my multi-placer. For my release cover paper, I'm using customized paper that I had gotten from Bees. I'll put all this information below as well. I also am using Tic Tac containers, which honestly are not my favorite. I have this where it is on a platform that I bought many, many years ago from Totally Tiffany, and you can still get these on Amazon. I will try to put a link for that as well. I do like to have if when I do use this type of system, I do like to have them at least up on this platform so at least I can see it. Again, not my favorite, but I wanted something that would be easy to pour out. I could have used my Elizabeth Ward at the time. I don't think I even had that many Elizabeth Ward containers when I did kit this up, but so far it's working. I already have really started this. I know where all of the drills are. There are 68 colors in this, so really not a lot of colors for the size, but you know, it's a darker canvas, so there's really not going to be that many colors. I don't know if I am going to add any embellishments. I'll see. This one did not come with embellishments. I could have added some at the time if I wanted to. I had the option and I didn't do it. But you can add embellishments. I really do like Jaded Gem Shop. I've completed a couple of hers and really liked the outcome. I have several that I haven't even opened that I need to start unboxing and just making sure that everything is correct, that I know what all my paintings look like, because I am trying to whittle down some of my stash. But hello and welcome. I want to personally thank you for joining me today. Whether you are seeing this on the day that it comes out, which will be Tuesday for you, it is Sunday early evening for me. Want to get a jump start for the week since I have so much going on this upcoming week. And for those of you that are not new, welcome back. I always appreciate you coming back time and time again. It is just like revisiting really good friends when I know that you guys are here. Definitely appreciated. I don't know how long I will be on today because it is Father's Day. And although my husband that lives with myself and my youngest daughter, he is not her dad, he's her stepdad, and we still like to honor him. And Madison will be calling later to talk to him, so wanted to spend some time tonight with him after dinner before our week gets just really crazy and really out of hand. But let me know how you guys are doing. What are you guys working on? I just would love to know. Have you finished anything since last week or started on anything new? Or just let me know how everything is going. If today or Sunday, it wouldn't be the same for you because you'll be seeing this on Tuesday. But in the U.S., this is Father's Day, and if you are not having a good day, perhaps it's bittersweet, as maybe you no longer have your father or a father figure, or you're not able to visit them today, or whatever the case may be, just remember that and just know that I see you. I totally understand. This is always a very hard day for my sister and I. My dad has passed a couple of years ago, and it still feels like we just lost him, especially when it happened so quickly. We didn't get to say goodbye. I think that was a really hard part of our grief, is just because it happened so quickly. We weren't prepared. He was sick, but he wasn't deathly ill or anything like that. So it's always difficult. It's difficult for my kids because of it too, because they miss him so much as well. But just know that you are thought about, you are definitely seen. And I just want you to know that you do have a place here that you can visit anytime you want. When you are down, you want to listen to my videos, they're always going to be there for you guys. So wanted you to just know that from the very beginning. We haven't done much today, Sunday, because we woke up this morning, or I should say Paige woke up this morning. And for those of you that are new, I have two daughters. My oldest right now is living in South Dakota. She is moving back with her husband and her soon-to-be baby in August. And my youngest lives with us. She is special needs. She is 23. And she woke me up, and I've told her about this. She doesn't need to wake me up unless it's an emergency, when something happens. But she woke me up to let me know this morning at 7 o'clock that our power was out. And so I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do about it? And she said, well, I just wanted to let you know, so when you wake up, you won't be surprised. I'm like, well, you just woke me up, but okay, now I get it. And so I got up And first of all, I had to look and see what the time was, and it was 7:15. And so I told her, I said, well, there's not anything I can do. I am sure that someone in the neighborhood has already called our power company and that they are aware that there's a problem. And so I was able to get on my phone and look, and we have a Facebook group for our community. And sure enough, someone had already posted and said that there was a problem, that a huge tree fell across the road and it hit the lines, and so our power's down. And this wasn't even in our subdivision. It was actually outside our subdivision, about half a mile away on the main road that gets us into our subdivision. And so my husband got up about 8:30 because he heard Paige and I talking. I was trying to get her to go find something to do, so she wouldn't, wake him up too. And so I thought, well, I might as well get up and just start doing something. Well, it was still dark, so I really couldn't see good enough to diamond paint yet. And I went ahead and just started reading and doing some other things I was able to do since we didn't have internet either. But my husband finally got up at about 8:30, which was early for him. He looked on an app that he has, and it said that the estimated time of repair was at 10:15. So I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. So I went ahead and got up, started cleaning the house since I didn't get to do it yesterday. And then 10:15, it came and it passed, and the house was still cool. So that's definitely a good thing. We have very good insulation in this house, apparently, because this house stays cool all the time, even running our AC. And the AC is really too big for this house, and so sometimes we just freeze. It doesn't cut off like it should, so there's an issue there that my husband has to work on. But for once, it was like, thank goodness, because the house was still cool. It stayed cool the entire day. So my husband went up there to that area, and he works for the power company that was repairing. And he also sometimes has to get parts for them. And he said, well, hopefully they don't need any parts and that they'll be able to repair it soon. So eventually he went down after 10:30 because they were still working. So it was about 11:15 or so, still no power. And so he drove down there, and they had the road closed before where the power trucks were, and he said he could not get to talk to them because he couldn't get through. But he said that he did see one of the guys was coming off the truck, coming down from where the power pole was, so he thought that they were almost done. Well, then we waited another hour, and he had gotten a notification saying that it was going to be by 2 o'clock this afternoon. And so he said he could go ahead and get our generator up and going if we really needed it. I said, well, if it's 2 o'clock, I guess that will be fine, but I had some work that I have to get done today. And so about 1:30, we finally got power, which was very nice. And I waited a little bit to make sure that our hot water heated up okay. We do have a gas water tank, but then we have the electric starter that we have to have that for our tank to heat up and to work. So anyway, I waited a little bit, was able to finally take a shower, and then while I was waiting on the water to heat up, I went ahead and started working a little bit. I had big plans for today. I should never make big plans because when I do make plans, usually something happens. So my plan was to record a video that would go out later on today. So I'd have my 3 videos back for the week, which I haven't done in a while on my 3 videos, just because of life, different things between my daughter's wedding, us moving twice, and all that fun stuff, me going out of town for work. So I thought I can get back on track this week. Well, no, because we didn't have any power today. And yesterday, I just didn't do it. So I should have done it yesterday. But anyway, I will not have a video for this past Sunday, but I will for next week, hopefully. That's the plan. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead, work some, and then I'll take a break from work. I will start a video. I don't know if I will get it finished, because then we're going to have dinner that we are cooking out, just grilling out burgers. Very simple. But I thought, well, I can just work for a little bit, and then about 5:15 or so, my husband will just tell me what time it is, and then I'll go ahead and prep the burgers, and then he'll grill them out. So that's kind of the plan, very easy. And then I would love to diamond paint tonight, but I don't see that happening because I do have a couple of large projects that's due tomorrow for my part-time school that I work for. I am one of their lead faculties, and so I have a big project that's due tomorrow that I've been working on all week, and I had planned on working on it some yesterday and then some Sunday. Well, then by the time that everything came back up, it's like, okay, I can work on it for about an hour, and then I'm going to do a video, get that started. So I had to kind of change my plans a little bit, but that's okay. That is perfectly fine. I will still have time to at least start this video. Tomorrow, Monday, I have to go to another campus that's about an hour away from my house. Not my normal campus that I go to, but I have a meeting there for a couple of hours, and then I'll come home, and then I need to finish up on this project. It's due tomorrow night by midnight. I'll need to get that project finished, but I don't get finished tonight, and I didn't want to stretch myself thin trying to get a video out and trying to get everything else done. So I decided probably the best thing is just to get started now and to work tonight. So that is my day today. I have diamond painted some this past week, so that's at least a plus. And yesterday, we finally have gotten our fence installed for Molly, our collie who now is very high on the anxiety level. So I've got to see if the fence is going to help her. She has not been able to run, let off some energy every day like she is used to. She was able to at the rental. It was a small yard. This is a small yard too, but I think that with this one, it's a privacy fence. The other one wasn't, so I think that's going to help her also. And then we didn't really have any birds or squirrels over there because there wasn't any trees, and she loves her birds and squirrels. So far she has been outside quite a bit since Saturday, but they came on Friday. They didn't get here until after 11 o'clock. My husband did call them to see why they hadn't gotten here. It was after 9 o'clock, and they were supposed to be here at 8. And the person that answered the phone asked if this was for a warranty job. And my husband said, no, it is for a new fence install. And so she said, well, I don't know about that. I don't have that on my list. And so she forwarded him to somebody else, and they said, oh yes, you're definitely on the list. They're just running a little behind. So he thinks that they just forgot to put us on the list, and we had paid for this fence well over a month ago, and we've had to reschedule it because he had something he had to do at work and he wanted to be here to let them know exactly what he wanted. And so then when they went to reschedule, they were booked, and so we had to wait again. So they started working on it Friday, and they came back on Saturday and finished it within a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours. So they were done by lunch. And the person that was the investor, the prior owner of this house, they actually bought the house from the homeowner, and then they did it as a flip. And we have gotten to be pretty good friends with the investor and her husband. And then also her partner is their realtor. And so we've gotten to be friends with her too. And they invited us to an open house. They purchased a couple of other houses in our neighborhood. So they invited us to an open house that they had yesterday, and they were going to have grilling out some hot dogs and different things. And so we told them we'd be there. They wanted to see the house, and they wanted some feedback and, just really to support them. And so we went there for a little while yesterday, and when we first got there, there wasn't anybody there, and it was about an hour after the start of their open house, and we really liked the house. It did have one thing that ours doesn't, and she said that whenever she saw this house, she said the first thing she thought about was me, because it has a covered porch, and it is a ranch on a covered porch, but doesn't have a basement or any extra space like ours, so we wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. But she said, yeah, I thought about you when I saw this porch. So we sat outside on the porch and talked for about 45 minutes or so, and we ate a hot dog, and then they started getting really busy. And so we just went in and we waved to her and told her that, we'll talk to them later. We wanted to get out of their hair so they could pay attention, to the people there, and if anybody wanted to sit down outside, that they'd have, 2 extra chairs. And so we walked home, and then we did a couple of things here. I did work a little bit more. I diamond painted for about an hour or so. We ended up going out to eat to a new to us restaurant, and we had heard about it from our realtor. And our realtor said that they went there quite often, and it was Southern food, but like with a twist. And she said they really do like it. And she said the people there are super nice. And so they gave us a gift card when we sold our house. When we sold our house last year, they gave us 2 gift cards, and one was for Queenie's, and the other is for a Mexican restaurant that's also downtown. And my realtor just loves downtown. They actually do have an office down there too, that they actually co-inhibit with somebody else on the office, so they only have to pay. They pay for the rent, but they share it with a couple of people. So we went there, and it was really good, but it started pouring down rain. We didn't make a reservation. I thought it was a lot bigger. I didn't realize that it was a really quaint, cozy place. For some reason, the way that I interpreted it was that this was a really big place. You didn't have to have a reservation. And so I went in, and it was pouring down rain, and my husband dropped us off, and he said, I'm going to go find a parking place, because there wasn't one in front of the restaurant. He said he was going to go find a parking place and that he would come in. So it wasn't pouring down rain until after Paige and I got in. So I'm like, thank goodness we got in and didn't get soaking wet. And then when I went up and was asking if we could get a table, she asked if we had reservations. Oh, no, of course not. I didn't even bother to check to see if reservations were recommended. So she said it might be a little while, like an hour or 2. And I thought, no, we're not going to do that. And she said, but if you want, you're more than welcome to sit at the bar. Well, they had 2 tables at the bar, plus they had, the bar itself. And so I asked Paige, I said, are you okay with sitting in the bar area? And she said she was fine. No one ever came into the bar area except for us, so that was kind of nice. It became crowded after about 45 minutes that we had been there. My husband came in, and it was just sprinkling when he got there. But I mean, as soon as he sat down, it's like it just was mayhem. Started thundering and lightning. The rain was coming in sideways. We lost power at the restaurant, and Paige was getting scared. I'm like, it's fine. They've got the door and the windows you can see through, and so it's not, totally dark in here. And it would go off and it came right back on. So that was definitely a plus. So I thought, we're probably not gonna be able to eat for a while, but we're not gonna go out in this mess anyway. So we decided to stay there, and the food was really good. My husband ended up getting a filet, and his was more expensive than what we would normally pay for a filet, but he said it was really good. He said next time he would get either the southern fried chicken, or he would get the southern fried pork chop. You can also get grilled. And Paige and I shared chicken, and it was way too much for both of us. Even us sharing one, we still took some chicken home and a side of green beans and some fries that she wanted. Since we were sharing, I said, you pick a side, I'll pick a side. I knew she was going to pick fries, so I picked green beans. So it was really good. And I told my husband, I said, yeah, we came out here and in the rain, so but at least that the meal, it's not free for us. We went over on the certificate, and the certificate was $100, and we still went over. I did get a glass of Chardonnay, and he does not do that. He lets me get something to drink. He will not drink except for at home, which is nice since he's always driving. And he ended up getting just some, tea. Paige got water, so it was, wasn't anything elaborate. I ended up getting a creme brulee to take home for dessert. I love creme brulee. That is my favorite dessert. It's kind of hard to find around here anyway. And so anytime someone has creme brulee, I will get it. And I never eat dessert for a couple of days or whatever. But I went ahead, I got it. It was like $12 for this small container of creme brulee. And it was peach. That was not my favorite. I don't know why I got it, because I'm not really a fan of peach. It was more like a custard than it was creme brulee. So I'll know next time not to get it. And my husband was joking about, well, yeah, look how much that you had to spend on that creme brulee. That's just crazy. And he was just, making a joke of how much things were. And I said, well, it can't be that bad, because, we didn't have to pay very much. We just barely went over. And we had this gift certificate we can use. We never have like gift certificates. He's like, yeah. But he said, I paid X amount of a down payment for this $100. Then it was way over of what we got. So we were both laughing about that, because she gave us that because we sold our house with her. But then yet we had to end up paying for their commission, and so that came out of our proceeds for the house. And so that's what he was talking about. He's like, yeah, I went ahead and it's nice, but I'm like, yeah, we kind of sort of paid for this dinner. I am back. I did stop for the evening. I thought that after dinner I would come back and I would go ahead and continue working on this and also talking to you guys, and never made it. So it is now Monday afternoon. I am home from work, and I wanted to go ahead and work some more to get everything done for the day. So it's late afternoon, and I am now going to finish this up. I do have some more work to do after, but definitely needed a break from the project that I was working on that is actually due today. I have probably 2 to 3 more hours to work on it, if that long. So I'm not worried that it's not going to get done, but I had to take care of my full-time job first. I had to go to a different campus today. Tomorrow, Tuesday, whenever this video goes out, we have an open house at school, and we are all expected to participate. They have different times, different days, different campuses, and so I went ahead and just took this one. And now this is a very busy week. It's like everybody wants to have meetings this week. It's like it all just happened at the same time, which I guess is okay to get it done, but it would be kind of nice to not have everything just jam-packed into one week. And then Thursday, it is June 19th, and that is a holiday in the US, and we are off, so I am thankful for that. I will probably still work. I have not even started on my classes for the fall, and I've got to get those set up. And with the way that my crazy life has been lately and all these meetings that just pop out of nowhere, I want to go ahead and get my classes set up sooner rather than later. We are also off the last week of June. Well, it starts on June the 30th and it goes to the first week of July. And I will still have to work, but we don't have classes. We don't go on campus. So that's definitely a win-win. I will probably focus very heavily on my fall classes. And I like to have my classes where everything is done before class even starts. I have all of my assignments prepared, all of the exams, all of my announcements, PowerPoint slides, I mean, everything I have in my class, and it is readily available on day one. And a lot of that I can repurpose from my prior semesters, but we are changing books for the fall term. And we hadn't changed books in over a year. So we're going to a new edition of the books in accounting that we've been using. With the change of the edition, there's not much. They can just change one example in the entire textbook, and they can just change it to a different date or different time. They can change some of the data, and they can call it good, and because it's something new in there, then they can call it a new content and a new edition. So I have to now go through and I have to download all of the information that we use from the publisher and delete all of the prior content. So that is going to take some time. So I do need to set up a time frame for that. And if I do it in like short segments, just sit down for an hour or two here and there, for some reason I am more productive. It makes it go faster. I know exactly what I need to do for that day. And so that is the plan. So hopefully I can get that done and then have maybe a couple of days on my week that we have off. I can go ahead and I can diamond paint. That would be super nice because I have the house is almost set up the way that we want it. And I have a feeling we're going to keep changing for a long time. But I have just 4 boxes left. And I think the majority of those boxes are clothes that I need to determine what we're going to do with them. If they are seasonal clothes, where we're going to put them. And then there's a couple of other things. I think I may have a few items left that goes in my craft room, and those I might decide to get rid of. The rest of that, my craft room things, because I obviously haven't used it in a long time. The boxes I have left have been boxed up since last year, and I hadn't even needed anything. Haven't missed anything, so apparently there's not anything in those boxes that I need. I am going to go through it, though, before I just decide to dump the box or give to Goodwill or whatever we're going to do. I am hoping that on this diamond painting that I begin to start liking it, because right now I am just trudging through this, and I don't know if it's because you can't tell what it is right now, and it's a lot of just browns and grays and some light green, like a bluish green. I know that's going to be really pretty, but I hope I don't get tired of this painting. I think that once I do get to where I am working on like the disciples or working on Jesus, then that is going to be better than just working on this background. And then also with Jade's paintings, okay, I just moved you guys up some because my pen kept hitting my arm of my filming arm, and I didn't want to keep hitting you guys. It still may be too close. You may just see my pen right in your face. I can't really tell. I'm going to move you up just a little bit more. That looks a little better. I know that a few people have asked to be able to see what I'm working on, and so that's why I did it. But if I do it where I am and really close, I keep hitting the arm, and that's not good either for you guys. And now I see a terrible glare. But I think once I do get to where there's something going on in this diamond painting, I think that I'll be okay. But right now, it's just like, okay, I can't tell what's going on. There's not really much. It's not forming anything. But really, the fun aspect, I think, with Jade squares is that with her squares, it has like a reverse negative effect is the best way that I can describe it. I'm sure there's better ways to describe this. But it looks like if you were taking a photo, what the negative actually would look like. And it's hard to see the photo. And so that's how this is. You really can't tell what's going on until you put some drills down and then you step back and look. And then you're like, oh yeah, this looks good. So that's what I'm kind of hoping. And I have not gotten far at all on this. I mean, I'm working on, this is like the 4th square. So definitely, and I still have some down at the bottom that I need to fill in. When I am working on heavy confetti like this, like my J wall, and then, you know, other diamond paintings, I like to open up a couple of sections. And that way I'm working on a larger section than I am a smaller section, because I can put more drills down, especially if it's heavy confetti. I'll have more drills in that area. And yes, I do miss quite a few doing that way, but I can just go back and I can pull those later, and it makes it easier. And that's how I do it. I know a lot of other people like to do small squares, and it can take hours to do small squares. So sometimes it can take even longer to do the larger ones, but I still think that in the long run, for me, it's faster because I do have more of an area that I can work with. I'm working on dollar signs right now, and there is a glare. I'm gonna have to get back to using my light pad. I'm not right now. I am using a light that has been working really well, but this one, there's so many dark colors that I'm gonna have to start using my light pad again. And I'm okay with that. It just, I think it films better without the light pad, but sometimes it can't be helped because right now I can't see. There's another $sign. I'm sure some of you are looking on here and saying, you have $5 signs that you're missing. Yeah, I probably do. And I hear you, but I don't see them. There's actually another one. Okay. I just saw this. There it is. There's one right there. There's a 2 S's, 3 S's that I just missed, and I just did S's. My cat and my dog are playing, and so if you hear some weird noises, they're not hurting each other. They're just playing. All right. So there is that. I wanted to get your opinion because I value your opinion. I have made quite a few changes in the past because of opinions from you guys, and I do appreciate it. Like, for instance, when I did my huge cross-stitch conversion, and it was so pixelated, and I still had about half to go, and you guys, several of you suggested that I just stop and not do any more of it. And so that's what I did, and I have not been upset about that at all. Haven't missed it. It was actually a sigh of relief not to feel that I had to work on it. So that was just, you know, one example. And then other examples, you told me I would do this or I would try this, and I've tried that and it's worked. So I have another question for you guys. If you've seen any of my videos on the beast, which is actually called the higher self, there's a $sign missed, which is actually called the higher self, and it's from Diamond Art or Diamond Kiss XO. If you have seen that one, then you'll understand this, and if not, I will put the playlist underneath the description as well as in the top of the eye, so you can go and look at any of those that you missed. The last one that I just did an update and just showed you guys last month how much I've done, and I'm going to do that every month. I thought I'll do it once a month instead of every week, or, you know, more than that, because that way I don't want you to get tired of it. It's going to be a very, very long project, literally and figuratively speaking, because it is a 16-foot diamond painting. It's 100 centimeters, and then I think it's 5 something, and it equates to 16 feet. So it's going to take me a very long time. I am not rushing the process. I am just doing it when I feel like it, trying to work on it at least once a week for, you know, a couple of hours. But I want to keep you guys updated. It will also keep me motivated to want to continue working on it, which I love doing. But in case I get tired of it, that will give me a good opportunity to say, hey, you guys want to see how far I've gotten. I need to work on it some. But the one before last, I did where I did a whip and chat, but it wasn't a chat. I diamond painted. It was a little over an hour, and I just diamond painted. You could see what I was doing because I showed, you know, my screen of me diamond painting. And then I had it to music, and it was actually very meditative music because the premise of the beast is yoga. So I wanted it to be with some type of a yoga theme, and so I did meditative music. And nobody complained about the music, which I was really excited about. And it has gotten a high number of views, but the views are not very long. It's like 10 minutes. So that is, you know, really short for my typical time that is watched, which, you know, that's fine with me too. But I didn't know if you would prefer me to do that again, or if you would prefer me to maybe find some really good tag questions. Now I'm looking for a star. if you'd like me to look for some really good tag questions, and I will just answer those. So I don't want it to be just like a regular WIP and chat. I want it to be something different. And that's why I thought maybe the music would be really good. I could do jazz, more meditative piano, and something that, you know, is not like, I mean, it's not specific. It would not be like hard rock, which I don't like anyway, but it wouldn't be like reggae or anything like that. It would be very soothing music that should appeal to most people. I am going to put a poll up in the Crafty Diamond and then my Facebook group. If you're not a member, the link is below and you can request to join there. Just make sure you answer the questions that will pop up and then I will approve you. I'm also going to put a poll underneath the community tab. That's underneath my YouTube video, so you should be able to see that also. It's part of my YouTube channel. So let me know if which one you would like, which one you would prefer. And I would try to do it for about an hour. I could even do longer on that one, because I do sit on that one whenever I do want to work on it. I try to spend at least 4 to 5 hours on it if I possibly can, if not longer. I'm hoping that in July, in between our summer and our fall session, that I can spend some more time on it. I definitely want to get a jump on it if at all possible. I would like to finish at least a 50 by 50 section by the end of the 3rd quarter, which is going to be the end of September. And so I think I can do that. I don't think there would be a problem. I've gotten quite a bit done, but let me know, or if there's something else that you have in mind, let me know about that too. I've had mixed opinions. I've had some that says, yes, go ahead and do that, because they said they could even fall asleep listening to the music since there's not any talking. And then at the end, if I did talking, or if I did just the music, at the end of my WIP and music, I guess, or even if I did tags, I'm going to show the progress. I'm going to have it all rolled out in my craft room, so you'll see all of it. I will do a pan over on it. You can see how much I've done and how big it is. It's very impressive, I have to say. But let me know what you guys would like, and you can also, if you want to go ahead and post more than once, I mean, that's fine too. But I really would love to hear your thoughts. Paige and I have a dental appointment next week, so that's going to be loads of fun. Hopefully neither one of us will have any problems and we won't have to worry about it for the next 6 months, but we shall see. And I have a doctor's appointment coming up, but I think I'm going to see if I can reschedule it, and then I can have mine and Paige's appointment at the same time. We see the same doctor, and instead of going to one of their satellite offices and not see my doctor and see a PA, I'm thinking this time, because we hadn't seen her in a while, we've just seen her assistants, I'm thinking that I'm going to take both of us in, because I don't feel like Paige is getting the type of treatment that she needs, or to find out exactly what we need for her thyroid, and that is worrying me a bit. So I need to have my doctor to tell me. I feel more confident with her than people that don't really know us, and then also with me too. I feel like they're just not, they're not as thorough as her. And I've seen 2 different people in her office, and I'm just not sure I like either one of them that much. I mean, they're okay as people, but as a provider, I'm not so sure. Madison is doing very well, my oldest. She has a birthday coming up in July. She feels like she's really old, and she is still in her late 20s, but she feels like she is just getting too old. Like, you don't know what old is, but they are moving back, and they've already gotten an apartment. They've already secured the apartment. It is on the first floor, but it is over on the side of a building, and so they said it's really quiet on that area because there's only one other person that is above you. Nobody else is next to you or below you. I think they're on the second floor, but the second floor is actually the parking lot floor, I believe. They are in a gated community again, which I am grateful for that. I don't know if it really helps, but as long as the gate is in use, it couldn't hurt. They have an indoor-outdoor pool at their new place, and I was going to join for Paige and I had planned on joining an aquatic center in Atlanta, but now I don't think we're going to, since she has indoor-outdoor pool. I want to wait and see what it's like, and then I'll decide if we are going, what we're going to do. I thought about joining the Y. There's one that's very close to us. I need to start working out again, and especially with weights. Well, I'm not really impressed. Their weights are okay. They're more expensive than just the typical gyms are. I thought that was interesting because in the past, the Ys have always made sure that they were affordable, so just about anybody can join. But now it doesn't seem to be the case. So I need to keep looking. I may end up joining one of the franchises. We'll see. I have to look at the times too, because I want something that's a little bit later in the evening that I can join. It's for the family. My husband will want to go too. But I've got to start working out again. It's just, walking is just not cutting it. And it's not for weight gain or anything, not to lose weight. I can't afford to lose any more weight. My doctor told me I better not lose any more weight, which is kind of funny because there was a time when my doctor was like, you know, you really need to lose some weight. Okay, so I did. I lost weight, and so now she's like, you cannot lose any more weight. I'm like, okay, so you want me to just eat a bunch of junk, or what do you want me to do? But I've got to do it for the exercise because I have osteoporosis and I do not want my bones to crumble. Although I do take medication, but I'm not so sure the medication is doing its job. And I guess I'll find out when I have to get a bone density scan again, but I'm trying to stay away from having to take the shots. My mom had to for osteoporosis, and I don't have to do that. I really don't. I could give myself the shots, no problem. I've done it before. I do it now. I can do it again, but I really don't want to have to take another shot for yet another issue if I don't have to. And then, of course, it also causes all kinds of other potential side effects. Sometimes I wonder if the side effects are worse than the actual illness. As far as diamond painting, oh, and I did want to mention more about Madison before I start on diamond painting. Before I was mentioning they are moving home, and we are looking forward to that. And Paige is so funny when she's talking about the baby, and she wants to go and get the baby some clothes, and she keeps asking me, can we go and do this and this for the baby? She calls her baby C. her name is going to start with a C. I don't know if I want to say her name on here or not. We're just going to call her Baby C. And whenever Paige says something about her, she'll say, well, I'm going to go and I'm doing this for Baby C. I am going to diamond paint. I'm going to do this Winnie the Pooh, and it's going to go in Baby C's room. I'm like, okay. I don't know why she's calling her Baby C, but we think that's really cute. So now whenever we say something, it's like, oh yeah, it's Baby C. And Madison was telling me that they went to the movie last night. Her husband has been, it just sounds so funny. Gotta get used to that. But anyway, her husband has been working out of state, and so for his job, and so he has been coming home on the weekends, and they went to the movie last night because he was going to be home today and then leave today, Monday, and go back to his job for the week. And they went to see a new movie that's out. It's a scary movie. I don't know what it is. I didn't ask because I don't watch scary movies, and I'm sure I've heard of it, but didn't even bother to ask her. So anyway, she called me and she was dying out laughing, and she said that her husband said, I don't know if this is a good idea for us to go and see this horror movie. Well, it's really funny. He doesn't like horror movies. It's not something for him, but my daughter loves horror movies. I mean, she just loves them. She has since she was a kid, a young kid. Things that she should not have seen, she did. That her dad let her. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that you let her watch those things. But anyway, I gotta reach over and get a color. So when they were going, he said, I don't know if it's a good idea if we watch this, because Baby C may not like it. She may get upset. It may scare her. Now, Madison is 21 weeks, and I thought it was so cute. I'm like, I don't think that she's going to be scared. She's not going to have any idea what's going on. I have heard that the babies can hear, like you talking to them and different things, but I don't think they can hear a movie. And honestly, I've never thought about it. So if you know that answer, let me know. I guess I could have researched. I could have Googled. Could have asked Paige. Paige loves to Google. I may ask her to do that just so I'll know. But he said, I'm afraid that Baby C is not going to like it. Maybe we should see something else. And so Madison's like, no, I think it's fine. Baby C is going to be just fine. It's not going to matter. And so he actually, I think he did Google it to make sure it's not going to hurt her. And so he said, fine. So he is being a very observant future dad, because he is already thinking of, things that I wouldn't have thought about. I don't know if Madison even thought about it either. But I thought it was so funny. Well, I don't know. And then he has not felt Baby C kick yet. And he told Madison, he said, I think that you are just imagining. She's not really kicking you yet. And Madison's been feeling it. She has been like a little football player. She has been kicking hard. Or soccer. She could be a soccer player. And that's how both of my kids were. They would kick me. I would think that my ribs were bruised because I was kicked. They used to kick me so hard. And so she is really kicking really hard at this early of a stage. And so he hadn't felt it. And so when Madison sat down, every time that she gets still is when Baby C really starts in. So she sat down, they're about to watch the movie. And so Madison felt her and she started going to town kicking. And so Madison told him, she said, put your hand on my stomach. And so he did. And Madison said she looked at him and his eyes were huge, like saucers. So he felt it. He's like, man, she's kicking really hard. And so Madison said, nope, that's not hard at all. So I thought that was really funny. So if you know the answer to that about the horror movies or just anything in general, let me know about the noises, because Madison says that baby C kicks even more when she hears my voice on the phone. I'm like, I don't think she can hear me, even though Madison has me on speaker. I'm like, I don't know. That's just a little much for me to think. But she never kicks that hard until she hears her Mimi. So maybe so. And so, of course, her husband said, yeah, I think that she's going to be a Mimi's girl. I keep telling Madison that she needs to go ahead and start her baby registry because she hasn't done that yet. And we've been talking clothes. They've already bought a few clothes, and most of it her husband's been buying, which I think is really funny. I thought he would be like this real tough guy, and, you know, he would not that he wouldn't take care of the baby, but that he just wouldn't really think of what needs to be bought and different things. And so he's bought her quite a few clothes already. Really cute stuff, too. And that's when Madison's not even with him. And so Madison mentioned the stroller that she wants that converts into a car seat. And so I think that's what we're going to get them. And, you know, she needs to get a crib and maybe a bassinet and all these things. And then all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, oh, well, Mimi needs to get a car seat to put in her car. So I need to put that on my list too. I need to find out what car seat, if there's anything particular that Madison needs me to get. But it'll just be for my car. And I know I'm going to have baby C in my car quite a bit. I just know it. So might as well go ahead and get ready for that. And I asked my husband, I'm like, what do you want baby C to call you? And he said, well, that's easy. And I said, how about, you know, Papa or Poppy or Grumpy? You could be the Grumpy Man. And so he said, no, my name, I want her to call me Dave. And I'm like, no, she is not going to call you Dave. And of course, that's his name. And I said, baby C is not calling you by your name. That is not going to happen. And he said, that's my name. That's what I want her to call me. No, not going to happen. But he feels that because he is Madison's stepfather, that he's not the baby's grandfather. And I said, that is not true. You're going to love this baby just as much as if it were your baby, your grandbaby, or our baby. You're going to fall in love with this baby. He loves kids, and they love him. And I said, you are not going to do that. I'm not going to start that. I don't want her to call anybody by their first name, especially an adult, and especially somebody who is going to be that close and going to love her, and she's going to love him. So I got to think of something. I thought maybe I will just have her call him D. My sister, and I'd forgotten all about this until Madison's wedding. My sister, when she was little, she didn't call me Debbie. Most of my family, actually all my family, called me Deb. Just simply Deb. Well, she wanted to be different, I guess. Or maybe she just couldn't say my name, just like how Madison did with my dad. And she called me D. I was D. And so she kept calling me D during the wedding. And I thought, wow, I had forgotten all about that. But apparently she didn't. And so maybe I will have baby C. I will have her call my husband Dave D. Maybe that will be an endearing name. I don't care if it's something like, you know, a grandfatherly name. That's not something that really has to be, but I want something that's just like a really endearing name that she can call him. And that if Madison has any other kids, that they can call him that too. So that's something we got to figure out. But let me know in the comments too what you guys think. Would D be weird? Or something that, I don't know, that's close to Dave. I don't know. But I don't want her calling him Dave. I just don't think that that is I don't want to say appropriate. That's not really the word, is it? I mean, you know what I mean, guys. Not, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I just want it to be like a special name that, you know, only she can call him. Like, none of his friends, we couldn't call him that because that would be weird. But like, my special name is going to be Mimi. If that's what she goes with, she may completely change it. Like, my dad always wanted to be Pappy. That was his special name. When I was a little kid, I would play with my dolls. I mean, I was that little. He would tell me, when you have kids, they are going to call me Pappy. And so I remember saying, okay. And so when I would ask my dad, will you babysit my babies? And that was my dolls. I used to love to play with my dolls. And so he would say, of course, I will babysit your dolls, your babies. And so I would say, you're going to stay with Pappy, and, you know, you be good. And I always said Pappy. So then when my kids were born, my dad's like, you remember what I want to be called? And I said, yes, of course I do. You're going to be called Pappy. So he was all happy and excited. And so it was Pappy for a year maybe. And then Madison started talking. Of course, it was mostly gibberish. And she had a hearing problem because she had a lot of issues with her ears when she was little. And she ended up having to have tubes 3 times. So she was thinking that we were saying happy with an H, like the, you know, the dwarfs, and happy as a dwarf. And so that's what she was thinking. And she may have even gotten it from Snow White. You know, I don't know. But he was happy. And when Paige was born, he was happy because Madison called him Happy. And I thought that's really sweet because they're the only ones, my 2 kids, that called him Happy because that was his endearing name. So I do not want my sweet baby C to call him Dave. I just don't want that. So I need ideas. Give me some ideas. As far as diamond painting, I'm really hoping to have this completed. These, not the whole thing, that'd be nice, but these 4 sections here completed in the probably next day. I can be able to get this done probably on Tuesday evening. And then I'm going to maybe work on my Josephine wall just to get a section or 2 out. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, and then go back to the rotation on my other WIPs. So that's kind of the plan for me, just to diamond paint. But as far as videos coming out, I am trying my best to get back on track where I have 3 videos. I only had 2 last week, and I had one that I had planned on doing. And so now I have additional videos that I want to do for this week because of it. So I am planning on having another unboxing on Thursday. And then on Sunday, I hope to have a finish that I have finished the first part of the month, and I just have not been able to take the time to do the video. So I'm hoping to have that done. And then there's another one that I have partially done on the video. I just need to get back to it, tweak it a little bit, I think finish the end, and then I need to edit. So I might have 4 videos this week if I can get to it. It may only be 2 again, but I think instead of doing Saturday videos, I'm going to change my Saturday to Sunday, because that gives me Saturday to be able to finish up the video if I need to. Because during the week, it's just seeming to get more and more busy and just impossible for me to be able to do full videos plus doing editing. So I think I'm going to do Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. I am trying. I am trying really hard. We will see if that happens. But if you are not a subscriber, I would absolutely love to have you here. It is completely free. And also make sure you click on that notification bell so you're notified of any future uploads, because you never know, I might be able to get some extra videos in that I wanted to get in for the month. And if I do and you don't have notifications on, you may not be notified. And also, even if you do have notifications on, you might want to check periodically, not just with my videos, but with others that you actually watch as well, because sometimes I've been told the notifications are not working. So if that is the case, then you might miss out on some videos. So make sure that you do just go and check. I do that too on others that I follow, just to make sure, because I'm not always alerted, and I don't know why, that sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. That's just something to do with YouTube. That's all that I have for you today, guys. If you like this video, please click on the like button as well. And again, I would love to have you here if you are not a current subscriber. If you are not part of my Facebook group, that information is down below, and that way you can also show what you are working on. Until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.